more stuff came in finally. I think this is addressed to my brother, so I think it's the watering sacks for the tree he had planted out here. Um, his cat expired, and well, it's dark out, so I can't show, but yeah, he put a really nice crabapple tree over him, so that'll grow nice and old, because we're going to be in this house a long time. I know people say that, and then stuff happens, but it would really take a lot to pry us out of here. That being said, so I got stuff for the bathroom, right? A bunch of old cheapo diamond saws, so we'll do a couple practice cuts in the glass tile. I got a aluminum blade. Ooh, it's gonna fall. So yeah, aluminum and plastic 80-tooth carbide blade for the chop saw. So that, yeah, I'm excited about that. I got it specifically to cut the aluminum for the bathroom, but it'll come in handy everywhere else too. And this should be more rubber brake line, the last two pieces. So we'll open that up. And just a tree sack, but look at this guy, right? Hydraulic handbrake. And I didn't buy a line lock because I was like, well, it's one more thing that's going to leak, and I'm never going to use it anyway. Because what's the story with old Volkswagens? Their parking brakes never work, so you end up just leaving it in gear, and no one's the wiser. But this one has a little like ratchet thing going on. So when you right, so if this is this way, then here's your Tokyo Drift front wheel drive. We're not going to be doing any of that silliness, but we are going to pull this thing up and just burn the tires right off it, because I got to imagine this rubber is really old. The tread looks good. I'll see how old it is. Maybe we won't kill them. Maybe two of them are worn. I know two of them have a little bit of camber wear, so maybe we'll burn up two tires. Well, we'll look at the dates, see how old they are first. Either way, it has this little, it's angled, and that's got stops, so you can click, 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 and it'll hold. Then we can sit and do our burnouts, rah, and then flip it back down. So the downside of these, though, is that it's not going to work with the cover, with the console. Well, not directly. So I'm not going to have a nice leather cover over it if I want to be able to retain the parking brake sort of deal. And it's got three little holes, so you can adjust how high up and down this thing is. And then I'm guessing this is just some kind of a bottom stop, so that it doesn't, I don't know why you would want, like, it's not like it's going to stop itself anyway. But I wonder if it's worth adjusting so that it's not pulling on right, it's not pulling on this. And the shaft has a little bit of adjustability as well. So yeah, for a little cheapo, we'll see if it works or not. Maybe it will, maybe it won't, but it'll probably work in the beginning and then it just won't last. I don't even know which ones. This has got to be in, right? And this is out. Or do you think this is in and this is out? It didn't come with directions. This will be fun. We'll figure. Put it in backwards and it's gonna blow stuff into the reservoir up front and explode my normal brakes. So yeah, let's get this other stuff open. Ooh, look at that Fiero. So I put these in order of how much I like them, and maybe we went over that. So sorry, Camaro, you didn't make it past that Ford Freestar or whatever it is. So let's see. Let's do. Yeah, there you go. That'll do her. I've never had so many China store stickers in my life. Okay, so new rubber parts. These are the ones that came today. These are fronts, clearly, right? And any of them that have, their flared end. Huh, I wonder why it's flat. Hope those are right. I thought they'd look like this for bubble flare. These are just kind of, well, can you use flat ones with a bubble flare? Because the backside isn't what seals, right? Oh. Am I missing something I'm not remembering? Oh, we'll worry about that when we get to it, because that's the front. The rear ones are right. So rear, this guy goes to the caliper, and then through here, and then you get hard lines. And I cut the clips on a lot of these, and they were old anyway. So I wanted to get them all out and make sure none of them are the slide-through type. They would have a collar here. So we'll have a rubber guy going to a hard line, and then the one that's, that ended goes here, right? Yeah. Oh, am I a crazy person? No, yeah, there they are. So that's where the proportioning valve was, and here this one looks a little nicer. So maybe what we'll do is we will use both of these instead of just one, right? Because that's going to go probably like that. Either way, we'll figure out how we want it. Probably do it, yeah, that side in, this side in, right, like that. Seems like this should have had a, because this is notched in there to hold the nut, I thought it's supposed to go through a little bit. Maybe it's just because there's pour 15 on it. Either way, they need clips, and the way the clip works is it pushes on that when you thread the other guy in, it kind of pushes together the spring action. So you'll see when it exists. But the point is, they're all the same size. I'm gonna need 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 of them. So they're a couple bucks each. We'll get a line and order them. If we don't have them in time, it's not a huge deal. But really, I ordered suspension, right? So I got KW variant ones coming, which means we don't need the Y-Tex, but I'm really interested in trying to get this side off and see, because they never emailed me back, which I expected, right? And these have the two holes, and that's a nut on top, and my spanner thingy for the grinder actually fits it, right? You can see this thing's already a little jank from me trying to rip on it. So I put it in there and really gave her the beans, and it started to bend. So maybe we'll flatten this straight, and I do worry about the post just ripping off, but if we can put some heat into it, right? Because I'm not worried like, oh, what am I going to do, damage an O-ring? We're interested in rebuilding the stuff, and the only issue I'll run into is this threaded part is probably all one piece. So we'll, at a minimum, need to find somebody with a lathe that can possibly redo those threads for us, if that's even in the cards. It'd be nice to have a freshly rebuilt set of Y-Tex hanging out, that way if we do another Mark II, we can put those in it someday. But I'm definitely not just going to throw them out. We'll goof with them a little bit, maybe even tonight. Okay, so I got it hot, where the seal started. Well, it's still smoking. And same thing, it just kind of tries this doesn't pop out, but this edge here will just start to fold up, and it's going to end up being like a coat hanger, right, where it just gets weaker and weaker every time I do it. Now, I never use this on the grinder, and even if I did, all that matters is that the pins still exist and they're that distance apart. So plan number 2 is I'm going to take this and find a piece of pipe, which I probably don't have here, but people sell pipe. There's a whole industry surrounded with selling pipe, so I'll be able to find one that's the right size, right? Because we need that center opening, right? So as long as the interior diameter of the pipe is the same or larger as this ID, we can put it on top of here, run a bead on it, chop this edge off, and we'll have a thing on a pipe so that it comes up past here. And then on the top of that, there we go, on top of the pipe, we can weld a nut of whatever size we want, right? And then we can grab one of these bad boys and put it on the impact and just, and I bet that'll either come off or it'll be catastrophic. Either way, we'll get it on film in the upcoming days. Because what I need to figure out is, it's nighttime. I don't want to run the grinder because the kid's sleeping. I don't think he can really hear it from in here because it's far enough away, but I don't want to bother the neighbors either. And they're not that close. I doubt they'd hear it, but you try to be polite. So yeah, I'll try to figure out stuff that I can do without that. And I think the kind of stuff I can do that's not loud is painting, right? So we have, this bracket, I started to sandblast, did a rough job on it. I didn't go for all the detail stuff, just wanted to get the bulk off so that if I run it back through and get all the surface stuff that's accumulated, and then give it some metal prep and some more of that pour 15. And I think the same thing, so in the daytime, tomorrow I'll be painting the bathroom, and I gotta wait an hour once I put the kills on before I can put on the actual paint. So I can come down here and wire wheel the control arms, wire wheel the axles, start getting other stuff ready. If I prep them all, then I can come home at night, and instead of just goofing off, I'll goof off with paint, right? Because I can use the hose, I can paint in the quiet, everything will be fine. I got my these things, as something flies by it. But they do get rid of mosquitoes. Like if I didn't have, what I do is I start that up before I open the garage door, and it keeps them from coming in. If you wait, if you open the garage door and they get in, then you start it, then they kind of don't know where to go. They just know they don't like it. They stay in the garage anyway. But yeah, there's stuff we can do. I should probably start putting the brake line in, because really all I got to do is take a piece of brake line, jam it up in there, and I got plenty of extra. So I need to order a T. So I need to order clips for all the things. I need to get 8 clips, and I need to get a T fitting to put somewhere up here, because once we run it to this hard line, we can put it in any of these spaces where the old junk was. Maybe actually, no, you don't want to put it on that arm. All that did is run a spring. So I'll probably try to mount it in here somewhere. Yeah, maybe, well, in the middle would be ideal, right? Not too close to the exhaust, maybe up here. So here's a screw. Maybe we'll mount it to that. Anywhere we want to mount it doesn't matter. We could even, we can wear this away, weld our own bracket in, and then paint right back over it. So, yep. Well, the other thing I need to do is grab the exhaust. So I got the guy had a Borla exhaust for a Corrado that he gave me with it. And it's not, it's probably from Michigan as well, but it wasn't rusting apart like the other one was. It had a little bit of surface stuff on it. So it might be worth, those rust from the inside too, so I don't think it's necessarily going to be worth trying to do some kind of high temperature paint on it. I think we just put it in, and if at any point it rusts away on us, then we cut a hole in the hood and put in a stack like a tractor. Until then, we'll put the actual exhaust in, but it should be identical to the Mark IIs. It should go over the beam, then do all its fun stuff, and then when it gets back here, like because the Corrados were short in the back, the muffler won't go far enough, so we'll need to cut the pipe and weld in a piece. So maybe while the car's on its side, we go ahead and mock that up. So I'll need to order some hangers. I'll get that out of the shed tomorrow in the daylight, and then see how many rubber exhaust hanger things we need, because some of them that we cut out back there, we can just make our own, right? We'll get some whatever diameter tubing we need, or solid bar, maybe quarter inch round bar, and we'll just bend our own brackets and then weld them in or put them wherever we need to. Yeah, we can mock all that up, and then we won't leave it in there because I'll need to install the shifter and stuff. So one of the things I'd really like to do, and it doesn't necessarily have to be in the future, and although I don't know if I want, well, no, they're wheels. Rhino Lander's fine on wheels, right? Is that, this, I like the lip, it's nice and shiny, but these are just one piece cast, right? So if you look at the back, they're not super expensive wheels, it's just a cast aluminum wheel, and they have polished lip and a not polished middle, and then all these bolts, right, which are actually plastic, because I was like, oh, I'll take one of the bolts out and see, maybe I'll get gold ones, because what I'd really like is color match center here, right, all the way up to this edge where there's actual hard lip right there, and then gold for all the dots. I really like that look. I don't care if other people do or not, but these, I put a wrench on it, whoop, twisted right off. So best guess, this is plastic and it's a plug, so I bet that hole is just a hole. So now the possibility of breaking all these off, finding the right size drill bit for that hole by working our way up, and then we just thread it. See if we can find good looking bolts in gold that can go in their spot that thread into those. So just stepped up bit by bit, because the plastic's super soft, and I didn't get any aluminum shavings until the 5/16, and then even then it was a minimum. It was barely any at all. And that's the right size for a 3/8 16 thread pitch bolt. Yeah, so I went online, and there's 3/8. They say yellow zinc coated, but they have that gold look. Maybe we can find specific wheel bolts that are more gold than that yellowy zinc stuff. The zinc's fine; it would look good. But they come in bigger lengths. So we'll do a little research, see what we can find in the 3/8 before we commit to powder all of these off. It's not something that's it's not high on my list of things that need to be done. But when I do go to spray the interior in the engine bay, it'd be nice to hit the wheels with any extra that we have so that the center part is color matched. And then once that's painted, we go back in and hit these with the tap, put our gold bolts in, and we're good to go.